Oh, they call me the Jizz. What's up, Gameweepers? So you want to know if you got lucky with the patch changes, eh? Maybe you did, mate. Maybe you didn't. But to find out, you've got to watch this video because I'm going to be revealing the best 20 champions of 11-11, which is just a week away. And that may seem like ages away, but we're close to being 6 months into 2021. How crazy is that? Now, it might not be as crazy as Cloud9 spending 10 million for just 3 wins at MSI, but if you want to know who the strongest champs will be so you can get a bit of an edge on the competition in a week's time, stop watching that hot tub streamer and listen up to the Jizz. Actually, you know what? Keep that hot tub stream open and highlight the web address, and I want you guys to type in GameLeap.com instead. Your time will be much better used by signing up to the most elite league website on the net. Challenger courses, Challenger guides, Challenger analyses that are designed to point out the things you have to do to climb to the peak of that mountain. The Jizz is waiting for you at the summit. Links as always in the description and comment section. Alright, so let's get into it, guys, and kicking off the countdown, we have Janna, and Janna next patch, guys, well, it's not like she's getting any direct buffs, but with the new Shurelias, it's no secret that she is good. And remember, movement speed in this meta is so important to dodge skill shots, to throw out damage, to dodge damage. It's really key. So to give you and your ally more of it, and that's including your passive, it's really valuable. And this is why Janna has one of the top support, even just top win rates across the board. Now, beating Janna to the number 19 spot on our countdown, guys, a champion who does a Chogath ultimate with her Q. And this, of course, is Camille in Trinity Force. Yes, it's not getting buffed this patch, right? Just completely cut it. But what is happening, Divine Sundra is getting buffed, guys. And this is interesting for Camille. Even though high elo Camilles aren't building Divine Sundra as their mythic, the fact it will now do more damage against tankier opponents with more HP. And remember, Warmog's got buffed, so you're going to see more of this. It's actually really useful into the right champion. Not to mention that Camille has the engage, the damage, the tankiness, the survivability she needs to completely destroy your backline. So Camille comes in at number 19. Now, ahead of Camille, guys, we haven't had this champion on one of these lists for ages now. And this champion, after she got massively changed earlier in the season, is actually now proving to be one of the best mid and top laners, and this is our Kali. So if you run Ignite and Teleport, it's actually pretty deadly because you don't necessarily need your flash. And if you choose the new Hextech Rocket Belt or even Night Harvester or even the new Riftmaker, all of these are really good because of the Magic Pen and of course Sorcerer's Shoes. So your level 6 spike, and once you get to your level 5 Q at level 9, our Kali is easily one of the best assassins and champions in the game. Okay, so you don't want to play an assassin that looks as if they were born in COVID-19. Well, how about I give you one of the best bruisers in the game? And this, of course, is Kled. Now, Kled is still going to be really strong, guys, because of the Gore Drinker buff from last patch, and just because, yeah, Gore Drinker, Titanic Hydra, Steris Gauge Kled is one of the best champions in the game. But we also have to think about the Warmog's armor change, and yes, okay, Warmog's isn't giving you any real damage, but it is giving you health, and health is one of the most important stats for Kled and for Titanic Hydra. And seeing as you only need 1100 bonus health now with the new Warmogs to get access to its passive, this could be huge. So we'll have to keep an eye out for that, but even if it doesn't work out, Kled regardless is definitely one of the strongest champions still. Now we're going to head back to that mid lane, guys, and another champion you can run Ignite Teleport on, and this is Katarina, so another AP assassin with a couple of daggers in there. Now Katarina, guys, the Nasus Toothbrush is one of the best in the game, and the new Riftmaker is also really good because you're getting to those stacks quicker. Even though you're not getting as much damage, you're still just getting to the stacks quicker, which is more important. So your short trades, even your long trades, are just more impactful. Yes, okay, she lost 5 movement speed, she got the Season 10 Aurelia treatment, but still, easily one of the best snowbally, carryable champions in the game. Now, we've had a couple of mid picks, we've had a couple of top picks already. Well, I'm feeling a bit sorry for you ADC mains, and I have done this whole season. Well, this next champion is the strongest AD carry in the game, and this is Jinx. Why? Well, really, your increased rocket range from earlier in the season, and of course the attack speed reduction that got improved. So when you're in that rocket form, guys, not only can you stay in it for longer, you're also dealing more damage because you're getting more attacks off because of the attack speed buff, and because of its range, you can completely destroy close range champions in the laning phase, and also compete with hard matchups like Jen and Caitlyn in the early game. With Lulu being popular as well in the bot lane, with Janna being popular too, Jinx is one of the strongest AD carries, and one of the strongest champions. Now we're going to head back to that mid and top lane here, guys, and maybe even the jungle, because Nocturne is coming in at number 14. I think we all know by now that Bruiser Nocturne, with Stridebreaker, with Steris Gauge, with Guardian's Angel, pretty much you can build anything on him, and you're going to be useful. Next patch as well, the Black Cleaver change might become more viable on Nocturne, even though it's not, yeah, the best item on it, but still, into a tanky armor team comp, you might want to build it. So another good patch for Nocturne. Now it's also going to be another good patch, guys, for Diana, and specifically mid Diana. So jungle Diana has kind of fallen off a little bit, but mid Diana is still super strong. And if you're enjoying this video, by the way, if you think this series is still super strong, remember to leave a like and let us know. And a bit like Kali and Katarina, guys, your item spikes are legit. With Sorcerer's Shoes in there, with Night Harvester, if you decide to go Lich Bane or Zhonya's, whatever it is, you could build anything. Diana is just a really hard champion to play against. That's a fact. This is why she has one of the highest win rates still in that mid lane throughout throughout all elos. Now coming in next guys at number 12 is a champion who got nerfed, and it's another mid and top laner and even jungler like Nocturne, and this is Lee Sin. And even though your E cooldown is increasing by a massive 1 second, oh my god, what are you going to do to survive? You still have so much power. Okay, your harass specifically in the top lane will be down a little bit against those melee champions, but in the mid lane, in the top lane anyway, you still have everything you need from your kit to be really effective. You have your gank setup, you have your dueling potential, you have your sustain, you have your ultimate which does half of someone's HP whether they're tanky or squishy, so nothing is going to change here for Lee Sin, coming in at number 12. Now ahead of Lee Sin guys, we have another mid and top laner, I'm so sorry. But I can't run from the fact guys, and neither can we, that Rumble, whether you play him in the top lane or in the mid lane, is going to be strong again next patch. Now he's getting nerfed for the jungle, so your passive damage is going to be capped against monsters, and that's it. It's not capped against minions or champions, which is great, right? So when you're overheating and you're bashing someone over the head with that junkyard, whatever it is, mace, you're not going to notice any difference. So with sorcerer shoes, with Hextech Rocket Belt if you decide to go that, whatever it is you build, just like Diana, just like Akali and Katarina, Rumble is one of the strongest picks on the Rift. Now heading into the top 10 here guys, well this champion is a really interesting one, and this is the first real tank of the countdown, and this is Chogath. And next patch guys, as I said, Warmogs is getting buffed, and remember, health on Chogath is huge. You've also got Frozen Heart getting buffed, so you're reducing the attack speed of enemy champions by more, and you even have Warden's Mail and Randuin's Omen getting buffed, so you're blocking more damage from enemy champions' auto attacks. And okay, even though Bramblefest is copping a bit of a nerf, it's going to be a little scarier going against Aurelia, Fiora, Tryndamere, these auto attack champions, Jax as well. You still have easily enough in your kit and your sustain as well with your passive to survive the laning phase and scale as one of the best scaling champions in the game, so when you hit that mid to late game, you are literally unstoppable. Alright, so you're not a fan of spikes. Well, let's stay in the top lane guys, and I'm going to give you one of the champions I just mentioned actually, and this is Fiora. And one of the reasons guys Fiora is at the top of this list is because Bramblefest is going to be less effective, which is a big cuck. So even bruisers like Darius could build it against you and pretty much nullify your threat. And against tanks as well, this is really good now. You're actually going to be able to duel them around that level 8, level 9 mark when they get their Bramblefest, even earlier in a game sometimes, and you're going to be able as a result to scale into that mid to late game weapon. Now one of the strongest champions on the Rift guys is an AD assassin by the name of Zed. And even if you're throwing your shurikens to Mars guys, Zed is one of the premier picks in the mid lane and on Summoner's Rift. Now next patch, you're not getting buffed, you're not getting nerfed, which is a good thing. Your items aren't getting buffed or really getting nerfed either. And because you're not getting a nerf and nothing around you is really getting affected that much in a bad way, Zed remains as one of the top picks guys. Your single target damage is arguably the highest in the game, right? With Prowler's Claw, with Serpent's Fang in there as well, with the new Wielder's Grudge, you are a real pain to play against, especially in lower elos, and Zed, like Katarina, is one of the best 1v9 champions. But let's say you don't like shadows and you want to play something else in the mid lane. Well, how about this champion? How about Annie? And I know LS is clapping his hands right now at me saying that, but it's true guys, Annie is one of the strongest champions in the game, specifically because of how good she works with magic penetration, so just sorcerer shoes would be enough to be honest, but also with the new Hextech Rocket Belt, which is now giving you magic penetration right off the bat, right, and from its mythic passive as well. So that mythic spike alone is really strong, if not one of the strongest in the game, and you're still scaling with that magic pen from its passive, so for each major item you get scarier and scarier. Now like Lee Sin guys, I've got another top laner coming in next who's actually getting nerfed like Lee Sin in 11-11, but for Ergot you are still going to be one of the hardest champions to play against. Okay, so your W's AD ratio is down, so later in a game you're going to be dealing less damage in particular, but guys the reason Ergot is so strong is because of how well you work with Titanic Hydra, and this isn't changing, the on-hit in his passive of course, and of course in your W. And what's also changing next patch for the good, remember that Black Cleaver buff I mentioned? Well for Ergot, Black Cleaver is one of the best items. It gives you the stickiness you need to stick to those enemy champions who are really good at kiting you around, and because you're going to be reducing their armor by more now, this means you are going to get more kills. So Ergot comes in at number 6. Now who can be stronger than Ergot? Well, before we get into the top 5 champions guys of next patch, it is my last friendly reminder for you guys to check out the Gameweek website. Like you being hard stuck, this is the reason why, because you're not signed up, straight up. We teach you how to master your champion, how to master your role, how to become and play like the best on the Rift. So guys, stop wasting time, find out what Faker, find out what Doper, find out what the best players in the world do that you don't, and click on one of those links down below. Now the 5th champion guys has to be a special one, and this is Fiddlesticks, who doesn't really sound that special because yeah, it's just Fiddlesticks, but Fiddlesticks guys, just like that mini movie Ryan made about him, is really scary. And just like Annie, the reason for this, or the reasons for this, is because of magic penetration, sorcerer shoes, Hextech Rocket Belt, all you need, and level 6, to dominate a game on the Rift. And this is why Fiddlesticks has had one of the highest win rates for multiple patches now, in fact throughout the season. So get around the sticks guys before it's too late. Now, if you want a champion packing a few more kgs, guys, then I've got a champion for you, and this is Shen. And next patch as well, some of your items that you could potentially build are getting buffed, right? So you've got Randuin's Omen getting buffed and Warmog's armor getting buffed as well. Now, if you go with the Frostfire Gauntlet build, this is really, really good, right? Because you're just stacking HP and you're going to be so tanky and hard to kill. But as I mentioned in other videos, if you go with the Expedu setup and you go with Chem Tank and then you go with Redemption and Mikhail's after that, that is still really, really effective too. So you've got a couple of builds there that are viable as for Shen in 11-11. Now, I hate to do it to you guys, but I know I've mentioned so many top laners already, but I cannot not mention this next one, and this is Nasus. And remember how I mentioned earlier how Divine Sunder is getting buffed, so your Spellblade is doing more damage based on the opponent's max HP, and then it's also healing you for more as well. Well, for Nasus, who's, well, healing is really, really good on him anyway, and because you're going to be going against champions with a lot of HP next patch, especially with the Warmog's buff, Nasus, like, you could honestly put him at number 1. The hybrid damage is insane, your scaling is insane, and next patch is going to be all too much. Alright, so you don't like the name Susan. Well, how about the best support in the game, guys? And this is Lulu, who was the number 1 champion last patch. Reason why? Shurelia's battle song Lulu is nuts. Because 3 of your abilities, guys, 3 of them procs the Shurelia's passive that gives you and your allies movement speed. So your W, your E, and your ultimate. And in this meta as well, where you have champions diving onto your backline left, right, and center, your polymorph, your ultimate, your shield, it comes in so clutch. Even the slow is useful. So Lulu makes it as a runner-up, guys. But who can be number 1? Well, again, I hate to break it to you, but this one is a fighter. You guys probably think I play top lane as well, by the way. I don't. I play Shaco. But anyway, the number 1 champion is a top laner, guys, and this is someone who can make use of the Divine Sunderer buff, and this is Wukong. Now, Trinity Force is the most popular mythic item, but next patch, guys, I'm calling it right now, Divine Sunderer Wukong is going to be crazy, and that's because of the buffs I just mentioned with Nasus. You're going to be seeing more tanks because of all the changes to the tank items, the buffs. So the Spellblade damage, which is going to do more damage if the opponent has a lot of HP, you're going to be shredding them, and you're also going to be healing for more, and because Wukong is one of the best Conqueror stacking champions in the game, you are going to be invincible in the top lane and in the game in general. So Wukong is the best champion for next patch, guys. So that was the list, guys. Thanks so much for watching. If you think I should have included a different champion in the list, remember, leave a comment down below, give me your thoughts, and until tomorrow's video, this has been the Cheers. Bye.